So it's time to start cleaning up these plots down here and making things look nicer, and so that's what I'm working on today. But last year I think somebody mentioned to me there's one of these tools that I needed to use in order to just quickly get rid of what was on the surface, because remember, I didn't have any sort of weed barrier or anything in here last year as I was awaiting the irrigation and wasn't sure when all that was going to happen, when everything was going to get dug up. So there's one of these tools. I think actually my wife got one at a garage sale or something recently, and I've just been trying it today, and it does work really well. So if you have some sort of flower bed or something that you need to continually keep some weeds out of, that little thing actually does a great job. The other thing is last year I tried a couple of edger options. I tried my old edger that was corded, and that worked okay, but as you know, dealing with cords all the time, especially out on plots like this, is not really the funnest thing in the world. And so I also tried my Milwaukee stick edger that I have here, which I absolutely loved for everything around my driveway at my old house, but it's kind of hard to be consistent with it in terms of the depth. It does okay for cleaning things up, but actually starting an edge and doing that stuff takes a little more power, I think. There's a few things usually I notice that you still have to clean up on an edge that's been overgrown now for about 2 years. So that edger does a good job, but you have to sort of come in and fine tune everything by hand a little here and there. But I think if I get this thing cleaned up, get the weed fabric down, I should be able to consistently go through and use this to just do a clean edge over time. But we're gonna see what happens. I may be able to just do it with my battery from time to time too, but this is obviously more powerful, so I'm giving that a shot. Alright, back for day 2. I didn't get quite as far yesterday as I had hoped that I was going to, but it took a lot longer to cut out all that turf and everything than I thought it was going to. But I guess since I haven't really done this since these were planted, it was a little overdue. Sometimes it just takes a lot longer to do it the right way, so I wanted to take the time and do it the right way. So now I'm trying to make a decision on this weed fabric. So my idea for this so far is to use this weed fabric. I have some more, but then I was probably just gonna put a light layer of wood mulch on it since I have a bunch of mulch here. I could always take that back off there if I wanted to, if I have a better long-term plan, but right now I think just, I could either leave it as it is with just the black, but I think I wanna cover it this time. So I'm gonna try it. I'm just gonna try it on this edge here first once we get that other section done and see what it looks like. If I don't like it, then I won't continue and I can easily take it back off here. Oh man, I forgot that Connor needed some good grass for his yard, so I better save these and mail them over to him so he can actually have some real ryegrass in his yard.
Well, it's not even over here. There's still dirt over here. Yeah, then I think we should cut the grass.
Don't you think that looks better with the thick cut though?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think it looks a lot cleaner and
I
nicer.
agree.
Well, as I said, it takes a lot longer than you would expect to get this stuff done, but Kelsey's helping me today. I'm making good progress now, trying to get some of this done before the rain comes, or at least it's supposed to rain later on. I'm hoping that it does, because things are really dry around here for it being spring. A few more things to do to get this wrapped up. I'm not sure if we're gonna get it all done today. Probably not quite all done today, but we'll be close. The other thing I wanted to talk about is a lot of people ask me, what are these plots for? And so first and foremost, it gave me an opportunity to have pretty much every grass type down here. I don't have bent grass yet, but I will be doing that on a golf green eventually. But down here it gave me an opportunity to have all of the cool season grass types, have them at various heights of cut. So we have normal cut, we have low cut, and then I also have some other fun stuff going on, some weird off the wall types of plots, and then some drought testing going on too. The other main reason is that these are the elite grass seeds that I sell. So instead of just being able to talk about things or explain things as to what they would look like, I can just actually show you. And that's the really cool part about it, is you're gonna know what this stuff is gonna look like, various types of year, what it's gonna look like, what greens up first. So that was the main point too, to be able to give you an actual example of what things would look like, this height of cut, low height of cut, and all that fun stuff. Can't forget to update you now on the front yard, as well as we're a few days past the last video and have made actually quite a bit of progress in the last few days with some better sunlight, just slightly more heat. So I just want to show you we're getting close now to seeing some of the green grass come up above the straw blankets. So what I need to decide now is when I'm going to take those blankets off. There's probably still a bit of seed there in a few spots that hasn't completely come up. So I like to leave them there a little longer if I can to make sure all of that gets protected, but I also don't like this existing grass that's coming up to get too tall and too entangled in that blanket before I take it off there. Otherwise, when I do start to remove it, it will tend to take out some of the good grass that I don't want to remove. So you can leave these blankets in place, but I found over time that as they break down, they are a major pain to try to remove. They just start ripping in little chunks, and it's much better at the beginning to roll them up. And usually I just go use them somewhere else because there's still plenty of straw in there. I've only used them for a few weeks, so if you can reuse them somewhere, that would be a good idea too. So I have a few ideas maybe on where I might put them, but we'll find out here. I got plenty of space to reuse them somewhere, I'm sure. Got a few requests to go over the shade area. I haven't showed this yet, I don't think, this season. So I'm down here checking this out. A few things to note, I would say. So first off, definitely a lot more weed pressure down here this year than last. Now, we did not really have that harsh of a winter. We didn't have a ton of snow here like they'd had up north. Also, there's only 1 or 2 stretches of pretty extremely cold weather, I would say. So for the most part, it was fairly mild. So I'm gonna debate down here if I'm gonna do a spray this year. I haven't done any spraying on this grass down here, but it's getting pretty full of a bunch of different stuff, clovers and dandelions and all that. So I may leave it. I just have to be a little more delicate with fine fescue and spraying. So I'm gonna look into that and see what I want to do there. Otherwise, up at the top here is looking pretty good too, about the same amount of weeds going on through there. And then these other sections, this section over here just got 1 seeding last fall. No irrigation on it except just a couple of times that it rained, and we had a pretty good drought last season. So it looks better, honestly, than I anticipated it would, but that's gonna need an overseed, needs to get rid of some of these weeds. Then I'll be interested to see these dense shade areas as we get to more of the intense sun. Once that midsummer time comes, this spot out here was the spot that I saw the most shade, so I put down some ryegrass on the right-hand side here, bluegrass on the left-hand side, and we're just gonna see in those really shady spots what happens with those. So I would say this is lagging just a little, maybe behind some of the other full sun areas. Even though the leaves on the trees aren't out on everything yet, you're still getting some of that filtered light from the trees. So maybe slightly behind everything else, but not too bad. can't make up its mind today if it wants to rain or not rain or be sunny, but this is gonna look a lot nicer for sure. What we've learned about these wood chips over time is that definitely when you first put them down, you think it's too much, it just isn't gonna stay in place, but as soon as they get rain on them and as soon as they start to decompose a little more, they really start to stick down and do a pretty good job of holding everything in place. As far as on top of this fabric, I think it's gonna be good. So, I think I could have left the fabric if I really wanted to, but what I found with all the stuff out there that's exposed is that the sun does a number on it and it starts to get sort of brittle after times. Well, it's starting to rain just a little bit more, but I think that we're actually at least close to finished with this project. There's one little area up here that I would like to cut out some of the turf to lay that flat on there, but I'm not going to do it today since it's definitely starting to rain now. So overall, good to have this project almost done, and I think it looks a lot better and should be able to keep things looking a lot cleaner around here. Next week I'm hoping to start on some fertilizer for these plots, so stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching today. We'll see you next time.